Hey there guys, so I am back today with another video and I'm really excited about this one because I'm going to be talking about one of my absolute favourite things to do, and that is travel. So I just wanted to do a video basically talking about sort of the tips and tricks that I think will help you guys have the best holiday ever, whether it's a long one or a short one or anything like that. These are just my tips and tricks for you guys to have absolutely the best holiday ever. So I was lucky enough this year to go on a 4-month holiday, and I was lucky enough to go to America and Europe. So I spent about 1 week in Canada, or 10 days in Canada, 6 or so weeks in the US, and then a further 9 weeks going around Europe and a bit of England and stuff like that as well. I also have done quite a few family holidays. I went for a 3-month holiday to Europe and then America with my family, so that was about 12 years ago now. And I've also done just sort of a couple of 2-week long holidays here or there with my family and stuff as well. So I'm not trying to show off or anything like that. I consider myself very lucky to have been able to do the travel that I've done. Through the years, I've sort of learned a bit more about what I like to do when I travel, and especially this last holiday that I went on was just absolutely incredible. I couldn't even put into words how amazing it was. And I think that's just because I have learnt about what I like to do on holidays and I guess the mindset that I want to be in and all that sort of stuff. So I just wanted to share with you guys my tips and tricks to have a really good holiday. So let me bring up my list because I've got the worst memory ever. So my very first tip is that once you figure out your next holiday, or even just think that maybe you do want to go on one in the future, start saving. My biggest tip is to make a budget. I'm someone that I love lists and being organized and all that sort of stuff. So for me, it gives me a little peace of mind to know how much I'm earning, how much I can put away each week, and how much I'll end up with by the time I go on my holiday. Obviously it depends on the kind of holiday you want. The last one that I went on was obviously a very big holiday, so it was going to cost a lot more money than a 2-week holiday. But I just like to write mine down on a piece of paper, sort of by a certain date, how much I want to have in my account and how much I'll need. And it just makes it a bit easier for me because I can know whether I'm going to have enough money or if I need to rethink my plans or something like that. So I'd say making a budget and just knowing how much, or just estimating how much your holiday is going to cost you and stuff like that is a really good tip. The recent holiday that I went on, I was staying with another person and we were spending the whole holiday together. So instead of staying in dorms so much, we might stay in, the private room in a hostel or really cheap hotels. So we definitely could have done it cheaper, but we definitely could have done it more expensive as well. It depends on the kind of holiday you want, because if you are staying in dorms and you pick up the early flight deal and you make your own meals in the hostels. Hostels have really good kitchens, so you can definitely save money by making your own meals. Then you can definitely do it a lot cheaper than I did it. Whereas we wanted a particular kind of holiday, so we did have to save up a little bit more money. But I mean, because we budgeted for that, it wasn't as though we were spending more than we can afford. We had exactly the kind of holiday that we wanted. Do it cheap, do it expensive, do whatever you want. It's your holiday, it's your money. You don't have to stay in dorms and do it cheap if you don't want to. Have the holiday that you want. It's no one else's business. My next tip is, it's not going to be something for everyone, but it's something that I started when I went on my 3-month holiday with my family when I was a kid. And I wish I'd done it on those holidays in between, but I definitely did it for this 4-month holiday that I just went on, and that is to keep a diary. Now, I am not going to claim that I am a writer. I'm actually a shocking writer. English was one of those subjects in school that no matter how hard I tried, I never got better. And that is okay. I can do maths. I feel like I've got that bit covered. And even though I'm not a writer, keeping a travel diary for me, because I have the world's most atrocious memory ever, I can't even remember what happened last week, I'll be honest. It's a mystery to me. For me, having it, each day written down, or even just every couple of days, if we sort of had some travel days or we didn't really do much on a day, then that for me is just the best way to, after you come home, you can actually just take a step back in time and you can write down just what you did. Just, we went and did this and then we ate this. And I always write about my food because I'm obsessed with food. But it could also just be how you felt or something like that. And if I ever had a bad day where I was sad or a bit homesick or anything like that, I wrote about it, because I don't think it's a bad thing to have emotions while you're on holiday. Of course you're going to have emotions. You might be on the other side of the world and away from your family, so you're going to have feelings and stuff like that. But I like to write about how I felt and also what I did, so that I can read back on it and just take a step back in time and it almost makes me feel the way that I was feeling on that day when I was there. So it's just the perfect way once you get home, I think, to reflect on your holiday. I'm not much of a photographer either. I'm very lucky that usually the people I travel with are far better photographers than I am. So because I don't always have photos to rely on to give me the memories, I like to have that diary to read and look back on it. I think it's just so good. You just get back and you just flip open to a page and you're like, oh, remember when we were in Munich and then we went out to Neuschwanstein Castle and did a bike ride, and take me back. So my next tip to enjoying your holiday is to keep an open mind. I had two sides to my holiday because the first part we spent in the US and Canada, and it's still a Western country, so there's only going to be a certain amount that's actually different from where I live at the moment in Australia, obviously. So it was almost like two separate holidays for us because we went over. In US it was more about seeing the sights and doing things, and I did feel like in the US we had to spend money or actually do something with our day to enjoy our day. And it was absolutely incredible, the US. It was a really, really cool holiday. But for me, Europe sort of really changed me. Can I be that cliche? I think I'm going to be that cliche. I feel as though because Europe was just a world apart from where I live and we were immersing ourselves in other cultures, and sometimes we didn't speak the language. Well, a lot of times we didn't speak the language, which is shocking because almost everyone, so many countries speak English, and then you feel a bit bad that you haven't put the effort in to learn their language. But for me, being out of my comfort zone was what helped me grow as a person. So the whole point of going on a holiday is to take yourself out of your comfort zone and to see new things and learn new things and figure out that you could be alone on the other side of the world, but you're going to be okay. And you might have a really sad day or something like that, but you'll get through it. And you can't go over there and expect to have your home comforts, and like you might have a bed with bed bugs in New Orleans, for example, but they'll also make the best $5 breakfast you've ever had. I just think you've got to keep an open mind. You just got to sort of let things slide. I'm a pretty chilled out person to begin with, and I just think that you have to keep an open mind and appreciate that you are over there doing incredible things, and a lot of people would kill to be in your shoes. I think my biggest thing is just go over there, and I don't have many expectations of what I'm going to do. I just go over there and I just want to see and explore and all that sort of stuff, and I really want to take in the culture and just learn about the places that I'm going to. And so I always have a very open mind when I'm over there. I don't plan much with I sort of plan to see the major sites or something like that, but I usually just play it by ear because I've never had a bad day on a holiday, and sometimes the days that you don't plan are the best ones you've ever had. So yeah, I'm very chilled out. I think you do have to sort of take a step back when you're over there and just let some things go because there's nothing you can do about them. And at the end of the day, if someone stole all your money when you were in Italy, at least you're in Italy and everything will work out. I mean, there's always family or there's always someone to help you. Everything will be okay. So you just gotta chill out a bit and it'll all be all right. I really need to travel with someone that stresses more than I do to balance me out because I'm atrocious. I'm so chilled out, it's awful. My next tip is, I don't really know what I would call it, but basically I'll try and summarize what I'm trying to say in have exactly the holiday that you want to have. On this holiday I went on, I didn't want to go out drinking too much or something like that. I wanted to get up early and explore and see the sights, and that's fine. And if you want to go over there and drink every night and party and meet an incredible bunch of people that just want to party on the other side of the world with you, then do that too. No one else is on your holiday, so no one else should be telling you how you should spend your time. If you've saved up money to go on a holiday, spend it however you damn well want to, honestly. I think it's okay to get up early and go to bed early if you've filled in your day with all the things that you've wanted to do, and it's just as okay to go out every night and drink and meet new people and see the clubs of an area. It's no one else's holiday but yours, and you've got to make sure that you enjoy it the best that you can. As long as you're staying safe and you trust the people that you're with and all that sort of stuff, have the holiday that you want. It's no one else's business to tell you what to do with your time. The only rule that I would say is don't stay in the hostel and actually get out and see things. But if you do that at night with drinks, or if you do that during the day with, I don't know, a chai latte or something, or a cappuccino, then that's okay too. But my next tip actually applies to once you get home from your holiday. And no one likes to think about it because the trip that I recently went on was so long. For the first 2/3 of it, we didn't even think we were coming home, basically, because we were just thinking that's 4 months down the track. That's nowhere near where we are right now, and we just wanted to enjoy everything that we were doing without thinking about it. But eventually there does come a time when you might think about going home. It sort of sneaks up on you, and no matter how much you do with your days and how many places you see, the end comes quite quickly. But once you get home, I just want to say that it is okay to feel sad and to miss the people that you met and miss the life that you had. So even though I came home and I got to see my family that I hadn't seen for 4 months, and I got to see all my girlfriends and stuff like that, a part of me was still sad, and that is okay to feel that way. It is so normal. You have just spent 2 weeks or 4 months traveling the world and seeing new things, and often you feel like, well, I definitely did. I felt like I grew so much as a person, and I really found out about myself, what was important to me and what I wanted to put my time into. And then you come back and nothing has changed, and it's so strange to feel like a totally different person in exactly the same situation before you left. So give yourself some time. It could take weeks or months. For me, it probably took about, well, it was sort of a couple of weeks for the depression to kick in because I was still on the post-holiday high. And then it probably took me maybe a month or two to actually properly get settled back in. Even though I was happy to be home and so happy to be around my family again, I think a part of you stays in those countries that you've been to. And that is exactly why you have to keep planning holidays, in my opinion. I am someone that loves travel. I think that there's nothing quite like travel to help you grow as a person, and it's so humbling because you see how other people live and you realize how lucky we are to have it at home. You know, we do in Australia and in these Western countries, I think we live a very lucky life, and you can't get that perspective until you go out and see it and see how lucky we are. So I'm a big fan of travel, and I think you should always be planning your next holiday. I feel like my bucket list isn't actually activities or anything, it's just a list of countries that I just want to see for the rest of my life. So I am planning, well, one of the things that I'm thinking about doing is actually studying again next year. And the reason that I haven't filmed in quite a while was because I was going through some stuff myself, not bad stuff. I was just thinking about how I've always been an animal lover, and I wanted to think more about actually acting on my love for animals and actually doing something about it. And I've always wanted to help animals and stuff like that, but I just hadn't figured out a way to bring that into my day-to-day life yet. So I do, this is a roundabout way to get to my point, but I'm thinking of studying again next year, so I might have to put off a couple of the holidays that I had planned, but I really want to do, and I am in the process of planning, well, we are in the process of planning a road trip somewhere in Australia, because we have a beautiful country here and I haven't seen enough of it. And also I would love to do a working holiday somewhere as well. It's just in very early planning stages at the moment. It's just something that I would love to do at some stage in my life, and I think that the older you get, the harder it gets. Well, sorry for the ramble, guys. I just spoke for so long, but I get so excited about travel, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching my video today. And if you guys have any tips about how you like to travel, or any places that you really want to go to or have been to that are amazing, I would love to hear about them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then maybe you could watch a couple of my other videos or subscribe, and that would mean the world to me. Haha, the world. Travel pun. Alright, I'm going. Thanks for watching, guys. Hello. I just ate a really grainy sandwich and it was life-changing. It was really, really good. There's so many seeds in my teeth. I have nothing against spreadsheets. I think they're amazing. We weren't staying in hotels. So I always burp after I eat. My apologies. I guess how to approach a holiday and what I really enjoy. Alright, what's my next tip? Next tip. Yeah, that's a grain. You can tell I'm going to chew through this whole video. That's okay, I'll get to that when I'm an adult and want to further myself or whatever. I'm so rambling. I knew this talking video was going to be rambled. Oh well. And because our trip was so long,